greenhouse effect is a natural phenomenon by which the gases in the atmosphere of the Earth maintain a temperature warm enough to facilitate the existence of life. However, due to recent events, many caused by humans, the concentration of these gases has seen an increase, altering the average temperature in the planet. Hello, my name is Mirel Navarro, and today we'll be talking about the greenhouse effect, the chemicals involved, as well as the problems that come with its alteration. First, let's analyze the chemicals that are involved in the greenhouse effect. Chemical gases that contribute to the greenhouse effect are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. However, the majority of emissions come from carbon dioxide and methane. As you can see in Figure 1, it was recorded in 2018 that about 81% and 10% of emissions in the United States came from carbon dioxide and methane, respectively. The remaining emissions are attributed to nitrous oxide and various fluorinated gases. But since carbon dioxide is the most significant of these chemicals, let's focus on it. So what is carbon dioxide? Well, carbon dioxide is a chemical compound that contains one carbon atom and two atoms of oxygen. It is the most emitted greenhouse gas by humans through processes like fossil fuel burning, which we will get to in a second. It also takes part in the carbon cycle, which is a process that makes carbon go through different spheres like the biosphere, the atmosphere, and so on. Now, this process is very important because it helps to keep the balance of carbon on Earth, and therefore it maintains a stable climate. So let's talk about the increase in carbon dioxide emissions in the atmosphere. As we can see, Figure 2 consists of two graphs that describe the amount of carbon dioxide found in the atmosphere throughout time. So on the y-axis we have the carbon dioxide concentration measured in parts per million. It goes from 0 all the way to 450. On the x-axis we have the different years, so from 800,000 BCE to 2015 CE. Now if we look at the graph on the right and compare to the one on the left, it becomes evident that there has been an increase in the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere in the last century. But what is the cause? Why does this happen? In order to understand where this increase comes from, we have to look at history. So during the second half of the 18th century, what happened is that people started to transition from hand manufacturing to machine production methods. This transition is what we call the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution introduced the process of burning fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas. Now, what all these fossil fuels have in common is that they contain high amounts of carbon. And when they're processed, that creates carbon dioxide that goes up straight into the atmosphere. And it turns out that is one of the most notable ways by which humans contribute to the expansion of the greenhouse effect, as you can see here in Figure 3. So why is all of this of concern to people? As I explained in the beginning, the greenhouse effect is a natural phenomenon that keeps heat from getting out of the Earth, but the intervention of humans has caused an increase in its effects, expanding the amount of heat that is retained. Figure 4 shows a change in global average temperature from 1880 to the current year, and as we can see, the graph indicates a general increase in temperature. This phenomenon is known as global warming, and its effects include extreme weather, creating stronger than normal hurricanes, more frequent lightning strikes, and heat waves. Ice melting. The higher temperatures cause the ice in the Arctic Sea to melt, so with less ice there's also less reflection of heat, causing even higher temperatures. Rising sea levels. The melting Arctic and Antarctic ice due to warmer oceans results in more water in the sea. And of course, this affects people living in coastal cities as well as hundreds of species living in the sea. All of these effects are either taking place right now or they are expected to transpire in the following years if the temperature keeps rising. So, what are the potential solutions for this problem? Based on my research and the facts that I presented, my conclusion is that we need to invest in technologies that reduce our carbon footprint. So, what does that look like? Well, we may reduce transportation emissions by replacing our gasoline powered cars with electrical ones. We could also invest in renewable energy and more efficient electricity so that way we reduce the need for fossil fuel combustion, decreasing deforestation as well as planting more trees so there's less carbon in the air, and that can also be useful to fight global warming. And finally, investing in nuclear energy, since this one results in less emissions, although there's concern regarding the safety of using such energy. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you and have a good day.